Libra, welcome back. We're here to do your zodiac sign for the month of May and get you babies ready. Yes, we are going to cover the transits to get you well and truly prepared, and then into the moonology for both moon phases, one in which is an eclipse, and then into your romance house, career, wealth, and wellness, and anything else I psychically and astrologically pick for you. Without further ado, let's take a look at the transits and what I see coming up this month. We do have, coming off the back of a previous eclipse, which was Aries, we'll still have that frequency playing out. Why do I say that? Is because with eclipses, that lingers on. And it will continue. And I do see, because Jupiter will be in the house of Aries until the 15th, 16th, we're still going to be really pushing that frequency through. I also do see that as we have eclipses and sets, the next one is going to be a full moon in Scorpio that will occur on the 5th at 15 degrees. It is going to be a lunar eclipse. The next moon phase, mid-month, we are having on the 19th is a new moon in Taurus at 28 degrees, both critical degree points. As we have the first day of the month, Pluto is retrograding in the house of Aquarius. It's going to dip back into Capricorn. Stay tuned for that. Follow the blog posts on the website that will keep you in the loop of those transits. So the first week is set to be quite intense because not only is Pluto retrograde, but the eclipse is occurring on the 5th. Mercury is still going to be retrograde. It will be till the 15th where it'll go station direct. And the day after, we are literally having Jupiter exiting stage and moving into the house of Taurus, the same location that Mercury is positioned, as well as that new moon. So big subjects to do with the Venusian energy really coming up in the signature point. Jupiter will remain in the house of Taurus till the following year. I believe it's the 25th of May. Venus currently is in the house of Gemini, which is going to make us want to be a little bit independent. We are going to be very intellectual. We can be overstimulated. And again, because Mercury is retrograde, keep in mind that where it does come to your marriages, contracts, and partnerships, there can be some confusion, a lot of negotiations, a lot of balls in the air, and things may be not completely making sense right away. Cross wires are a possibility. And also the way in which we're going to relate to one another. It can be very vocal, very verbal. So just keep that in mind. It still is Venus. So it's going to come from a heart-centered place, but we can be expressing our feelings and really enjoying maybe the more social side of things. We can be feeling a little bit lazy moving into the month, A, because of an eclipse, and B, because Mercury is retrograde in a Venusian sign. Venus then will enter the house of Cancer, which I think is going to be a good thing. But at the same time, I just kept saying the War of the Roses. And the reason being is because we do have Mars currently sitting in the house of Cancer. And it is deemed as in its detriment. You also, being a Venus sign, are going to experience these dynamics in different houses, but it also can make you feel very hot and cold. So giving your power away, putting your foot down, up and down, not really knowing how to find that equilibrium. You, Libra, are very good at that. However, in this occasion, it can be a bit testing moving through this month because of the eclipse energy. You're also gearing up, ready to move into a new nodal axis, which is going to be a subject matter, and you can have a lot coming up to do with your contracts, partnerships, love, work, image. Definitely going to look different, Libra. Mars then will enter Leo, which we can have things to do with kings, queens, celebrities in the media. This can also be presidents, prime ministers, and things to that degree at a collective level. However, we are in our own individual lives going to have some real identity energy, and there is also going to be more direction and focus. And it can, Mars tends to make things obsessive. Without further ado, grab a cuppa, sit back, get ready. We're going to check into your moonology and then into your romance house. As I mentioned, mentioned, we move into the month, the first day of May 2023, and Pluto is retrograding. Now, this can be blast from the past coming back, double whammy, Libra. This also can be to do with your style of creativity, reworking it, how you can manage things, situations to do with children, pregnancies possible, but creativity. It also can be home-related environment because I am getting that kind of vibe of moon energy. Although I do think this can be to do with romance, your way to relate, and I definitely feel that with Pluto being in this position in the years to come, you may find that your creativity is at all-time high, and it can be very almost like all or nothing. You're really going to dive into things, but you're going to want, it's a little bit like eat, pray, love. You're going to want variety. You're going to want spice. Your style of relating in love is also going to be very deep and passionate. And your style of relating, you can be more open to experiencing fun. So, although when I did directly have transits happening through the fifth house, I found it was very productive in a sense of creativity, artistic endeavors, having fun. I do feel because of the previous transits, a lot of Libras weren't able to get the full manifestation of the fifth house. So I can guarantee that a lot of you, if you PM me, be it's on the podcast or it's on YouTube, you directly will say, no, I had not had fun in the last few years. Now, it's not to say that you guys aren't shifting, and I really do feel a lot of you have. A lot of you have shifted in a different way where you're being very, very realistic. But you are going to start embodying the Aries energy. And I do particularly feel near this eclipse, the intensity is really going to be hitting your second house. So it can be, this can be suddenly having a revelation where you've got to let a grievance go, or your style of communication is going to change. What you felt you could depend on, maybe you didn't need to depend on it. Maybe you found that inside yourself. It can be a asset. It could be that you decide that you need to sell an asset or get rid of something. But I do feel this can also be a stream of income for some of you, that you cut one off and you're transitioning into another. And I don't necessarily think this has to be negative for Libras. Some astrologers have spoken about this, like you're going to lose income. I think this can be to do with tax, debt, legacies, inheritances. It can be something to do with a partnership. However, this can also be saying to yourself, right, I'm cutting certain food groups out of my life. I'm not eating them anymore. Or I'm going on a diet and that's it. I'm putting my foot down. It can be something wrapping up to do with oral, dental work, beauty, reversing the clock, so to speak. Separately, it can be that you don't see the worth in a situation and you tweak it and you change it around to make it more worthwhile. Also, it can be paying off a bill. And also what you depend on. It could be that you're really doing that vault check and you're saying, okay, in order to liberate myself, I need to pay this debt off. I can't go any further. And then I'm going to move forward from there on in. However it happens, I still do see Lady Luck for you. And I feel during its retrograde, there can be a correction. There can be a looking at, okay, what do I depend on? What do I not? Where do I feel that is realistic for me to move forward? Being also that it is moon, it can be something to do with family. This could be a home-related dynamic. This could be to do with net worth that you're getting from physical assets. Do you keep them? Do you sell them? What do you do? What do you invest in? The second house also can link to professional resources. So it could be that you feel somehow there is a lack mentality and there's nothing really that you can go back to. You can only go forward. And it's not necessarily that it's true, but the difficulties also in that department could be coming to an end also. So that can be a very positive thing. Now, as we move forward, we are having the moon in Taurus, which is kind of doing an opposite for you, especially for those of you, if you do have a north node or a south node in Taurus or Scorpio, you're having a nodal return or a nodal reversal. This time can be important for you to look after your wellness. I have noticed synchronistic aspects in charts, and who was it the other day? Yeah, and I've noticed to be a trend. So really those of you that are Scorpio, Taurus, any of those heavy aspects inside your birth charts, you really need to take extra care in that domain. So for you, the North Node links to your 8th house. I do feel there is going to be a new sense of stability. So, yes, after tumultuous events, it feels as though somehow it's returning to a more balanced, harmonized area. And there can also be more wealth coming your way, more stability, lady luck, lotteries, and things to that degree. But we will link it to various areas of your chart. Just be aware that it can be intense. There can be some confidence related dynamics coming up, and you can be a bit run down in the first week of May 2023. Love, big blast from the past, big renegotiations. Those of you that are in a commitment can have some changes happening, and this can be re-navigating it, looking at where you're going. The last eclipse we had was really the signature inside of your relationship zone. So be it you're single or coupled, you won't be for long. There's definitely big shifts there. Now, if you were in an extremely toxic relationship, some of you can be, saying to yourself, okay, I need to exit this situation. So, of course, then it would make sense with the eclipse that you would be saying to yourself, well, okay, that would be one stream of income that physically wouldn't be there. That can be divorces, severing of contracts, cutting off assets and sharing the assets. So, yes, that would make sense in that Scorpio axis. For some of you, though, I do directly feel this is, it can be to do with career transitions. It can be to do with really having a lot more opportunities coming your way. And especially that's going to completely manifest by the time we do reach July as the nodes shift. It's going to be quite a fixed focus. And so your attention is going to be on your friendship groups, on your connections, on your love life, on your contracts and partnerships. And those opportunities are going to come towards you. Jupiter entering Taurus also in the area of love can take a connection to the next level. So don't be surprised for those of you that do have those blasts from the past coming back. It is a good time to review it. And it is a good time to assess whether both parties can get on the same page and if they're stable enough to be able to be dependable upon each other. There is an opportunity where some of you could be dealing with a foreign country. Now, that can be you're dealing with a love interest that is of a different culture. It could be that they are at a distance. You also may be spiritually reviewing your values and really feeling spiritually that you're expressing how you feel more so than usual. So this could be your creative ideas. It could be your feelings. It could be your culture, really tapping back into culture. This could be to do with mysticism and astrology. The things that you're going to be attracted to is the intellectual. But some of you also are dreaming of foreign lands and when can you have a holiday? That is possible. But again, I do see also some of you could be looking at, a holiday. This can be a holiday, a destination, something to liberate yourself out of it, and also getting on the same page. As we do move forward, there can be some conflict with you understanding where you sit in this person's place of life. Now, it's really key at the moment to understand the axis of Cancer, okay? Cancer at the moment is going to be both sitting in, by mid-month, in Mars and in Venus. So I did say War of the Roses. Could self-esteem come up? It is possible. Could you feel anxious and out of your depth, like you don't know where you're going? Yes. You're going to know what your part is in the mix and how it's going to look as we proceed forward. You are mid-month going to be very social. You could also be really tuning into your dreams, and some of you at a drop of a hat, your dreams could actually come true. So be open to such, Libra. Now, your career does have transitions happening. For some of you, you can be tweaking it, refining it. Some of you could be doing two things. It could be home-based businesses, side hustles, as well as a physical career as to a physical place of work. There is a potential that there could be a lot of work that you're putting into this area. There is an opportunity for wealth, but you're going to work very hard to earn a buck. So it does appear to be that you're going to have the energy and the vitality to assert yourself to achieve those targets. This also can be that you show yourself to be a real leader where it does come to management, and there is an opportunity for that. But I would say not to be aggressive surrounding superiors mid-month, to be very neutral. But I do feel you're going to show your leadership skills in whatever position you place yourself in. There is a possibility of tying up debt, having to maybe replace a white good. This could be something that really isn't working for you, and you're like, right, it's come to a head. It could be a washing machine, a dryer, an oven, whatever it be. During this time, especially with Pluto and the Scorpio eclipse, there is potential you have to replace something. But a lot of you are replacing things that have needed replacing. So they are going to last you a lot longer. And I think a lot of you are going for quality. Definitely read the contracts. If you can avoid it, wait till the 16th. But spiritually, from an income sense, you could be really reviewing and saying, okay, am I getting the benefit out of this career? Is the buck worth the grind? Is there something I can do that is different? Is there something that I can address? And some of you could be addressing taxation and paperwork and things to that degree. Nevertheless, I do see it in recovery as we do move forward. Now, the other thing I can say is with this Taurus energy, what the contract is and what you are going to be able to depend on, be it its resources. Some of those opportunities, you may have more opportunities than you think, okay? This could be surprise income coming from other places. We'll go into income. So this can be money coming from legacies, inheritances, lotteries, partnership money, changes with your partnership where it's transforming. And I do see wealth coming from this section. I also see, Libra, some of you are going to continue to have to look after your wellness, especially during Mercury retrograde, but you can be saving for big ticket items. Some of you are upskilling. Some of you also, from an advertising point of view, if you are working in a business from home, you can find that that's really going to benefit you come mid-month. There can be a bit of tests happening in the first pocket of the month, but as it moves forward, it is going to ease up. I do feel you're going to be working very hard, and I feel you've got two roads at the moment. Now, when it comes to purpose and wealth, I do see there could be two areas that you could actually be investing in. Some of you, this can be for home. Some of you, you're going, especially with the transits, I do particularly feel between here and next year, there's going to be a revelation of where you want to live. Now, there has been a lot of upheaval with those of you that have a lot of heavy Libra placements. Those situations is because of the previous axis of where Pluto was. There could have been upheaval in home, upheaval with family, changing dynamics. Some of that can be playing out now, but I feel you're quite settled in believing in what way you need to go. Some of you also can be discussing wealth with a physical partner or a mother energy. This could be future tense, be it their hair or not. I definitely see lady luck. You know, for some of you, it can be like a grand gesture, a big commission check. I also see a major project that you are going to move towards and really manifest by the end of this year. I will check in with you further. Come through and book a private session if you want me to look at your birth chart or to tune into your energy psychically. Otherwise, I wish you the very best. Get excited. Hold on to your hats. It's going to be a juicy month.